Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, kid!
Nothing would. There's a bunch.
Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, kid!
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor, Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's Milton's first son.
Jamaica Plains, find it.
Oh,
Maybe
he's
Roslindale,
Jamaica
Hyde Park
Plains
line.
first
JP's
son?
first
White
son.
City's first.
Yeah.
JP's first son.
I'm so glad Timmy tells me this
Now
during
my
the
friends
show.
start watching
Yeah,
the show.
we're-
They're all like,
He has a
Milton, you're from Jamaica Plains.
he has a lot of constituencies to serve. Tim
I
Hoey
know
does.
he- right.
A lot of
You wanna get over the
constituencies to
list
serve.
of people who needs to be shouted
I
out.
have to be true to my hometown.
All right, Timmy boy. JP, Timmy boy. All right, well, boys, we have a great show tonight, so let's get it started. First of all, I have to tell a personal story. So my son Max, I took him to the 2011 AFC Championship game. Remember that exciting game? We came back and won, beat the Ravens. So the next year I get seats again for the AFC Championship against the Ravens. And I say to him, Max, let's go. We're going to go to AFC Championship game. He goes, no, I want to go to this girl's birthday party. And I said, come on, it's the AFC Championship game. And he goes, I'll go next year. And I said,
Turns out he
that's
was
not
right.
possible. We don't go every year. We have gone every year
yes, we
since.
have.
It's now 8 straight, and in the Tom Brady era, 13 overall.
It's crazy.
He's
Yeah.
pretty good, I would say, huh?
That's mind-boggling. That's the Celtics, Bill Russell run.
That's right.
That's the Canadians back in the day, the
There's
Yankees
some-
in the
It's
60s.
There's some crazy stat where he's won more playoff games than like the next three
But
guys
should-
have played
doesn't
in
it say,
combined.
Should it be this easy for the Patriots to get to the AFC Championship?
No, it should
game?
not.
I mean, they had a mediocre season at best. It seemed like, you know what I mean? They beat the Cupcakes in their division.
But
And we
they
only had
lost
the-
to a lot of cupcakes on the
But it
road.
sure helps to beat,
But
in the
here
AFC
we are.
East.
Here we are, a very mediocre season in the AFC Championship game again.
So teams that lose the Super Bowl historically do not make it back to the championship game. This is, I think, the third time in the history of the NFL that it's been done.
You know what I was thinking?
Well, it
about
hasn't been
today?
done yet.
Was,
No, they made it to the championship.
Oh,
made it to the
oh,
championship.
really?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
the Patriots have done it 3 times.
Yeah.
Lose the Super Bowl and make it to the championship.
Well, they did
game.
it
Now
after
they-
the last Giants one, right?
Yeah.
Well, with this run they've
Yeah,
had, they've
after the
probably
last
done a
two
lot of
Giant
things that no
ones.
one's ever
Yeah.
done. But
Oh,
I remember
wait, they
after the
didn't.
Super Bowl,
No,
the
you're
Philly
right.
fans and the Philly players, you know how cocky they were. We'll be back again next year. You could just about say, you won't be
Oh,
back,
especially
but we'll be
Lane.
back.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Well, we said as Sony Michel goes, so goes the Patriots. He played fantastic despite Uncle Joe's
Prediction that he would
clear
have a big
hatred.
game.
No, clear hatred for him. Sony Michel was excellent. Now what I would ask, that first round draft pick is a good pick because it's paying dividends right now and helping us
Well, let's
possibly
give-
go to a Super Bowl.
Let's give kudos to the offensive line on this,
Yeah.
too, because they played spectacular. I mean, his performance was a direct result of that great offensive line.
Oh, and I thought the wideouts and the the tight end blocked very well too. Everyone was contributing to that running game. It
Yeah, that
wasn't
tight end, this
wasn't
guy named
just
Gronk. I don't know,
Yeah.
Gronkowski. He may have had the best blocking game in his career. Would you agree?
Yeah, he didn't even need to catch a pass, and he still would have been a top 3 star.
Yeah,
What a
without the
tremendous
pass.
scheme they had.
Unbelievable. They just mauled him in the trenches.
Yeah, it was a great offensive plan, especially in the first half.
And they just closed down the 2 defensive ends, Bosa and Ingram.
I
So
didn't even
did
know
you-
Bosa
Took him
was
out.
on the field.
Bosa was mic'd up, so they had it. They on the
Oh,
radio.
that
I
was
heard
good.
it on
That
the
was
radio.
good, yeah.
He, after Brady got rid of a pass really quick, Brady tapped him on the butt, and Bosa said to Brady, "Stop throwing the ball so quick."
Yeah. Well, look, it's one thing
Joe
that
Tooney had a great play on that too.
It's one thing that we know is that Belichick can take away the other team's. If he focuses on the other team's strength, 9 times out of 10 he can take it away, and that's what he did. He said, "We're not letting Bosa and Ingram beat us," and they didn't.
Yeah, that's a great point. When we talk about that he's taking away someone offensively on the team, but he's also taking
also
guys
does
away
it on the defense.
defensively.
It's nice to have a defensive game plan again too. Matt Patricia didn't do so well at the end of last year.
And Josh McDaniels did not have a brain fart this game, right?
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden there was
Well,
he didn't
but
outthink himself.
He got out ahead of He got out so far ahead that wasn't in a position to have a brain fart.
You know what I noticed? Even when Rivers had time to throw, he couldn't find anyone to throw to. Have you ever seen a game where the Patriots have played where the other team's quarterback threw the ball away? Like, you know how Brady throws it
Yeah.
into the dirt when he's under pressure? Rivers had to have done that 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Just, there was nothing there, even when he did have time to throw.
You know, James White, we don't give enough props to James White. And,
goodness.
you know, look, he should have probably been the MVP of the last Super Bowl.
Bowl, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You could have very well given it to
Yeah.
him. He ties the record, and thank you, Todd, for clearing that up to me. Ties the record at 15 catches in one playoff game. James White has become, at the very least, the second option offensively.
Well, if you
on
don't
this
cover
team.
him, Brady's going to go to him all game long because it's not so much. It's only a 2 or 3 yard pass, but he always seems to make another 6, 7.
Do you know what's crazy, though? The Grandstanders called it last week that we were going to win this game with short passes
That's
to
right.
the running back.
You're right, Tim.
How does the Chargers coach not see that?
Well, and they've-
4 morons sitting here. We know it.
Yeah,
How don't they know it?
And they've been historically bad at that. The one thing that I noticed that our screen game has improved significantly this year. Remember the earlier part of
Yeah,
the year,
right.
we couldn't get any screen
Yeah.
passes going, and they were uncoordinated. That screen pass game that we've got right now is just getting chunk yards.
I
Well, it
hate
sure
that
didn't-
double fake one though. That
Yeah,
takes so
I'm with
long.
you.
That just
takes
kills
too
a pass rush.
Totally.
That just deflates a pass rush.
Well, we've seen a lot of Tommy Brady throwing the ball into the ground in these screen plays this year.
All
Yeah,
year.
we have
Yeah,
all
so
year
he's,
long.
Well, especially that double
he's
fake one.
contributed
Yeah.
to our lack of screenplay of effectiveness. But Tommy B stuck in there the whole
Your
game.
boy Tommy
Your
B.
Yeah,
boy
right.
Tommy.
Right?
He was
Yeah.
fooling us, wasn't
Tommy
he?
boy, all of us.
Giselle didn't. She must not have communicated with them
No,
before
maybe
the game.
maybe she was
right?
gone until
Tommy B like Jimmy G. You mean?
Yeah, Brookline's own. I was proud of him because I didn't know if he would curl up, and he
Right
did.
on the
He
bandwagon.
put the Brookline
He's-
hat on.
Scotty's
Look,
right on the bandwagon.
Right. Well, he wasn't.
Nobody loves Tom Brady more than I do. Nobody.
He wasn't
Nobody.
bailing out of throws, which he had been
Yeah.
doing. It looks like, whatever his knee injury was might have gotten better. There was a throw that late in the game, third quarter, he ripped 20 yards downfield that just showed
to Edelman.
when
Yeah.
he
And
gets
he
his
had to
feet
throw it
set,
high.
his arm is plenty big enough still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're seeing Phillip Rivers float every ball.
He is
And
a
then you
little
see him.
fussy about his mechanics. He likes to square up and
For
rip
sure.
to
Yeah.
throw it.
I don't think he could throw it sidearm.
No,
like
he
used
can't
to.
do it anymore on the run or
Yeah,
off
I
balance.
agree with that. I agree with
I
that.
don't know if Julian Edelman. We should probably check with Wes Welker to see if he can still spell his name, right? If he can make up even a half a complete
Julian
sentence.
Edelman sounds like he's
There are-
heading that way.
I don't know how he's going to look 5 years from now, right? But Julian Edelman is giving everything he has
Yeah.
physically to a playoff game, and he was fantastic.
There were 2 or 3 times where he got hit right on the button. I mean, head to head.
Yeah.
And I said, "There's no he's going to get up slow. He pops up like a freaking piece of popcorn."
Yeah.
The man enjoys that contact.
He just plays so hard. He played so hard the other day.
He's so,
So
athletic.
reckless.
He's so athletic.
If you
right?
didn't have him down, he just kept playing to the whistle.
the way
he
he
just kept
twists
going.
and turns and
Yeah.
dives for that yard, it's amazing.
and no Edelman drops.
Twice he was short of the
I think
sticks, and he
dropped-
found his way.
He only dropped
the
one
first
pass.
down.
We only had, I think he had one drop. It was
Yeah,
marginal.
the very first pass to him
Yeah,
was a
it
drop.
was marginal.
But otherwise, fantastic.
Yeah, look, you cannot possibly complain about that game offensively, defensively,
no.
special teams.
Well, Russ, just like you laid it out a few weeks ago,
right.
we're all going to
We're
jump back
all
on.
convinced now.
All right, we've got to get it out right now. The professor 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but it wasn't a great.
It was a great. No, look,
You hit it right on the button.
Remember, exactly. Money and compliments.
Yeah,
always
yeah,
accepted.
yeah.
There we go.
But I'm just-
What did you say, Russ? That
I
actually
said
came true.
after the 2 losses to Miami and Pittsburgh. I took a look and said we're going to have 3 home games in a row, 2 home games of the regular season and 1 home game in the playoffs. We're very, very good team at home.
Yes,
by the
we
end
are.
of the 3rd game, by the 3rd win, we will convince ourselves that this is a Super Bowl team.
And we have.
Yeah,
And we have.
Every one of us has.
Russell, you couldn't have
Right?
And now I'm rooting for the Rams in the first game because I
you want
know
the Rams,
we can
yeah.
take Jared Goff
Yeah.
in a Super Bowl game. That is way too big of a
we
stage
should have
for him.
taken Nick Foles in the Super Bowl
Okay,
game.
all
though.
right, but we will beat the Rams, but that's getting ahead of ourselves.
little bit, do you think?
Just a teeny bit. All right, we have pressured him all season for being one of the biggest stiffs in the history of the Patriots. But one Adrian Claiborne, of course I have a preference for the name Adrian. Adrian Claiborne actually was on the 45-man roster in the playoff game and actually did play well.
Well, and that was his forte. When you're ahead big and you can pin your ears back and just go after the quarterback, that's his. That's
Guys,
his strength.
I agree with Joe. Guys tend to look good when you're up by 4 touchdowns. On
Yeah.
defense, you can play free and easy.
Yeah.
Right?
If you know their pass and you're not thinking
Exactly.
about covering a running back or dropping back into coverage, you're just pinning them back and going.
And just remember we had was it Kevin Booth on
Yeah.
a couple times, a couple
Yeah.
years ago,
Great friend, Kevin
former offensive lineman for
the
the
Giants,
Giants,
so
and
the
we're going to
Super
loop back
Bowl
to this when we talk about KC. But
Yeah.
you saw it the other day, loud crowd in Gillette. Thank God. Rivers taps his foot. The guard taps the center, and the center. Everyone knows when the snap is coming.
Right.
Everyone on TV,
Yeah.
everyone on the sidelines,
Yeah.
and most importantly, everyone in the New England Patriots defensive
2
line.
delay
knows,
games.
Yeah.
right?
three delay.
Three delay
So
games.
when you get out ahead, you know they're going to pass, and you know the snap count. It's pretty good to look good on defense.
Yeah.
And Sony Michel went up the middle against 10 men.
Look, again,
Offensive line.
look, see, Uncle
Joe.
Joe rips
He
into
hates
Sony
Sony
Michel.
Michel.
No, another person Uncle Joe hates, and he's hated since he came to the Patriots.
Adrian Claiborne? Yeah.
David Andrews. You're always ripping into the center.
quite a
Look,
game.
ma'am.
Yeah, see,
Oh yeah, I think I'd like someone bigger there.
I know he would, but let's give him his props. First of all, I maybe 1 or 2.
Oh, he's been a
holding calls the
quality
whole
guy. Yeah,
season,
he's been
but
a
he's
quality
played
player.
excellent this season.
Yeah, he's been quality. I got no complaints. Him, Tooney, and Shaq Mason. That
Wow,
interior
Joe's
line
softening up. Joe's
has
getting
been-
soft.
Those 3 have been excellent.
Well, you
Joe's getting
inspired Joe, and that's what we thank you
Tooney
for.
gets big props because he played every down of every game all year long. He didn't miss a single snap.
So when Philip Dorsett, I think we're going to keep a stat here. When Philip Dorsett catches a tough touchdown pass, the Patriots win. Right? I mean, and
We've
Philip
been saving
Dorsett-
him. He's been undercover. He's
Yeah.
been, the secret weapon.
That's
we've
why
been
he's
hiding.
invisible like Hogan. All of a sudden he's wide open.
It is remarkable that Josh Gordon, who was at one point, would you agree, our number 1 receiver?
He was,
He
yeah.
leaves the team, obviously, for personal reasons, and they don't miss a step.
For personal reasons.
Yeah.
Well, it was personal reasons, yeah.
Yeah, no, they haven't. They
He
haven't.
couldn't play anymore.
They haven't
I
missed.
know, but
Look,
I mean,
that
I
the
was trying
one
to be
thing that
kind,
the
sure,
one
you
thing
want-
that this team does is guys go down, guys step up, they figure out a way to work around it, and you've got a quarterback who can handle that.
Right.
You throw that stuff at Lamar Jackson or maybe even Patrick Mahomes. Who knows? You throw a little adversity their way.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to perform in the same way?
But we all know that Belichick was just playing possum all year.
You think?
That's what we were hoping they were sandbagging,
I know.
but we know they're not.
All right, hear ye, Dante Hightower, and I
Yep.
would, I think, agree. I can speak for the 4 of us. One of our favorite Patriots of all time,
for sure.
was back. The old Dante
Yeah.
was at least back for the one game. He looked faster, he looked more engaged, and he made plays.
Faster's relative,
Yeah.
but I do agree that he made plays and he played tough. He was sticking
Yeah.
his nose in there. The communication was good on the defense. So, He
But
played
that's
well.
something we really didn't put into the equation, right, guys? If we get a Hightower, even back at 75% of what he's been,
Yeah.
that's a guy in an AFC
And
championship
he
game.
played 75% of the snaps too.
But he can help you win
You know what
an
I'm just
AFC
thinking?
championship game.
Hightower has that. It seems to have the makeup like a cold game. Like he's that kind of guy who I could see like the cold not affecting for some
Well, he's a
reason.
clutch guy to me.
a
He's a
clutch
guy who's going to get
Like,
you a
he's like one of those guys who will play
That-
through it like a heart of a lion
The,
kind of
the
guy.
moment is never too big for him. He took down Marshawn Lynch to help us win the Seattle Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and he got the strip
strip
sack
sack.
in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't win those two Super Bowls unless
No,
He's
Dante
got like a little
makes-
brewski in him, a little.
He does.
You
That's
know
a
what
great
I mean?
point.
That-
He's a
that-
playmaker,
that-
and
that-
there's not many on that.
That's why we didn't mind Dante getting
Remember,
paid.
Dante picked off Mahomes in the first game this year.
Yeah.
He dropped back into his zone suddenly. faked
Mahomes
to
didn't
rushing,
see him.
And Mahomes didn't see him, and Dante picked it off.
He
so
strikes me like that tough. Like
That would be
I don't
great
care
to
how
see.
cold it is. Like I
Yeah.
bet he's going to show up this week.
And you know, Landon Roberts only played a handful of plays in that game.
But they
And
called his
that's-
name a
that's
few
good.
times.
That's
though.
always good.
Oh,
They
this
called
past
his name
game?
a few
Yeah.
Oh, I
times
didn't
though
know
against
that.
the Rams. Didn't he have a sack?
What's that? I think,
Roberts have a
I
sack?
think he was going to the snack shop. And
Yeah.
covering.
He only
I thought he
played
had
in
a
six
sack
plays
around.
the whole
They need
snaps
somebody
the
to
whole
cook
game.
I thought I remember
hamburgers.
them calling his
Yeah,
game.
and that's another thing.
Him and
the
Danny
less
Shelton.
Landon Roberts plays, the better the Patriots will play.
Malcolm Brown.
All right, Gilmore. We have to give Gilmore his
props.
props. I mean, obviously there was a misconnection. He must have thought the safety was covered on the Keenan Allen touchdown.
Yeah.
But after that, he was impeccable.
Boy, he looks
Number
good.
one corner. You
Yeah.
shut down corner. The big thing will be, what do the Patriots do this week? There's always that thing with number one receivers. Do they put
Shadow.
Gilmore on Hill, or do they double Hill and put Gilmore on whoever's left over
Hey,
offensively?
so we got to give Belichick props for finding him and signing him. He gave him
Oh,
a ton of money.
100%,
Oh yeah,
And he didn't look good at first
Well,
either.
He did. He looked poorly the
personally.
first year.
I mean, he got to play against him twice a year,
Yeah.
and he knew that this guy was a big
knew,
physical
yeah.
DB, and
He's
you needed that after the.
He's
prior
certainly
Super
living
Bowl.
up to the big paycheck right now. Those guys are diamonds. Those top shelf cornerbacks.
because you don't have to worry about that side of
Yeah.
the field.
Yeah,
All right, so
remember when and give Belichick and Flores credit, because remember when Revis and Browner were there, one guy took the left, one guy took the right, never switched.
Yeah.
They have Gilmore and Jackson
all
all
over
over
the
the
place,
place.
All right, so we start our AFC Championship preview, and I have to be honest with you, boys. During the course of the season, I didn't think I'd be saying AFC Championship preview, but we are, boys. All right, so that's the first question. I think Chung takes Kelsey with safety help. Gilmore takes Watkins, which he did in the first game,
And you double Hill.
J.C. Jackson and safety help on Hill.
That's what they've done before. That would
Yeah.
make sense.
Right?
Who knows what he has planned? He has something extraordinary planned. for this
Then that
game.
leaves the running back
Running back out of
on a
Yeah.
slow linebacker. That
Look, they have too many weapons for us to cover at any given
Yeah.
time. So we're going to have to
yeah.
do the best we can and then hope Mahomes has a bit of a meltdown.
Or switch things up, change things up, have them covering a different guy on every play, so Mahomes really never
What
gets a
scares
handle
me the
on it.
most is Tyreek Hill's speed. I mean, we're a relatively slow team.
That's right.
He could be the difference. I mean, he has
could be.
speed like we you just don't see it.
that's
McCourty
why
did
I-
run him down in that game.
That's why I think they're going to try to take Kelsey out of the game because that's
Yeah,
just the easiest
I have
thing
to
to
and he'll
say-
move the
do.
chains.
I
He
have to
moves
say
the
that
chains.
Kelsey's the guy I fear the most.
Oh, is that
So
right?
you have to put Chung on him then.
Yeah, but even that, man, he is just he's
Chung's
like
looked better than
he's like Gronk was. I just
Yeah.
think putting one guy on Travis Kelsey, you're gonna give up 9 or 10 receptions to
Is
Kelsey.
this when you feel
with one
comfortable
guy.
that Bill Belichick's at the helm?
Yeah, they'll
And
come up.
he's-
I
mean,
agree
he's
with
coming
you.
up
I
with
think,
something.
I think they'll have the defensive end give him a swat in the chops on his way out.
That would be
just
great.
to soften him up for Chung.
Yeah.
So Patrick Mahomes is essentially a rookie. He didn't play that much last year in
Yeah.
his first season. Rookies tend to make mistakes in big games. You see Mahomes sometimes throwing the ball with his left hand and stuff. I will predict that Mahomes will make 2 mistakes. Those were the 2 mistakes. They would turn the ball over 2 times, and that will be the difference in the
And
Patriots
ball
winning.
security is tough when it's real cold. It's a lot easier to drop
Yeah.
it.
Oh, certainly.
Okay, so time of possession was just remarkable.
was it.
And I want to mention CBS was terrible with the graphics, if they even put any graphics
He
up.
was
It was bad.
ranting about it.
I mean, because time of possession is such a key statistic, and especially
yeah.
in that game, it was so glaring.
40
Now, one
to
time
20.
they even put it
They
up.
do have these things called iPhones.
Can we go back,
and
though?
apps that allow you to sort of get real-time
Stats on the-
updates.
on
You
the-
know that,
Back
right?
to the job. I don't need to be working that hard.
The first brilliant move of the game was Belichick taking the kickoff, which we never do.
You want to set the
Wait,
tone.
He
that
set
threw
the-
them off
It threw-
balance.
he didn't want to be playing from behind.
I totally
He
agree.
wanted to play with the lead.
Yeah.
I think everyone was in shock when we didn't do the usual Patriots thing and defer.
So what do you think happens this weekend? We win the toss. What do we do?
Defer.
Defer. Yeah.
Defer.
You got to stop
Yeah, I
them.
think so. So, boys, time of possession, I'm thinking 33 to 27 at the very
We're
least.
predicting time of possession now.
No, if the Patriots are going to win.
I
Yeah.
think you're right. I do think that to me, the only way the Patriots can win this game is to be able to run the football. And you can run the football in these guys.
Brady is so
And-
much better when he's thrown with play action.
With play action. And that's my point. It's not so much for the yards you get running it. It's for the threat of the run that allows you to open up the passing
Opens the
game. a
play
little bit.
action up.
I
Opens
think so.
The reverses
I think so.
up.
It made a
opens
huge
lot of
difference the
things
other
up.
day. It
Well,
made
the
a huge
Chiefs'
difference.
defense is suspect, as is ours.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this
Yeah.
does scream.
But we
And
didn't
we
look
ran a lot
suspect
of
this week,
gadget
though.
plays the first time we played them. You guys were at the World Series that night. I was home watching.
I was home too, yeah.
And they ran a lot of gadget plays, and the Chiefs were susceptible to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fantastic game. Both games are going to be great. All right, boys. Middle of the field is always open for them. Have you noticed that?
Always open for
the
who?
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Always
Well-
open. I mean, with our linebacking core being so weak, somebody's got to.
Well, do you remember what they were doing to us? A lot of teams were doing to us at the beginning of the year. They were running those drag routes, those short crossing drag routes that put our linebackers in position to cover running backs and slot receivers out of in short and shallow routes, and they were killing us.
Yeah.
We got to figure out. That's, to me, is the biggest question about, to Tim's point, what Belichick is going to figure out is how do you protect the 5 to 10 yard passes?
Well, then they beat them up coming off the line, but then they just drop into a zone,
Joe-
and the corners and safeties play man. So it's like a hybrid
That's
thing.
exactly what I was going to say. You switch sides who's rushing the ball, and you have a couple of those guys drop back, and you put their arms up. Excuse
Yeah.
me about that, Todd. And you take away that space.
I hope
you
so.
know,
Yeah.
and you try to time it where you think that pass is going to be, and you try to be. So he has to get it over some high arms.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it forces them, Mahomes, into the two mistakes that Scott said.
So we beat them 43-40. They've lost to Seattle, both LA teams. The
All by
Chargers
less
and the
than a
Rams.
touchdown, though.
And the teams have scored 54, 43, 38,
But
and
even in
29.
those losses, though,
The
Scotty,
no, the
they were
teams-
less than a touchdown.
Right, but I'm saying the teams that won scored that many
That Rams
points.
game
But
was a
still-
game for the
but-
ages.
Sure.
But they still, with those high scores, lost by less than a touchdown.
Yeah, so
your
you're-
offense, the juggernaut.
Right. Look, the over and under right now actually is increased because now the weather is supposed to be a little bit better right now. Breaking
bad
news.
for us.
It was supposed to be 5 degrees, and now they're talking about, what, 20 degrees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's a
would
big
prefer
difference.
it 5 degrees. That helps the road team a
too.
little
Oh,
more.
yeah,
Yeah.
When you
colder,
level,
the better.
when adversity levels the playing
That's
field
right.
for everyone.
A
Yes.
rookie in that temperature who's not used to playing in that, that definitely favored the Patriots. The lower, the better.
But we know the weather could change 100 times. It's going to change
Oh, yeah.
before, so hopefully it goes back to 5. But over and under is 58.5 right now. That looks like it's going to be swallowed up awful quick. Patriots are underdogs by 3 points. All right, boys. Hopefully this is not our last prediction of the year. Uncle Joe, what's going to happen in the AFC Championship game?
I know back at the beginning of the year, I had them losing in the conference championship.
Okay.
Now I'm changing my tune.
Oh, my God.
The ultimate homer in me just comes back, and I want the Patriots to win in a cold weather game, say 28-24.
Oh, wow. Low scoring.
You stole mine.
Professor.
I came here thinking that it was going to be an 8-degree game and that was going to level the playing field, and I was going to say we were going to win 24-20. I don't like this weather thing at all, so I think Kansas City's going to
Bump
put
it
up some
up a
points.
touchdown.
Yeah, I know. I think we're going to. I actually think we're going to lose like 30-24.
Right. Well, go ahead, Timmy. Before I.
I'm picking the Chiefs 33-21. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Because every time
You
I
wanna
pick
do the
against
reverse
the
jinx.
Patriots, they
Right.
win.
Yeah.
It's like when I gamble. Just go the opposite.
All right. Well, the final score is going to be Patriots 58, Chiefs
Over-under.
55 in overtime.
So you want the 8 and
10-degree
5 in the
weather.
boxes, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
those
They're
are
gonna
bad
be throwing
numbers.
like they're in a dome and it's 70 degrees.
But I did say at some point during the season I thought the Patriots were going to score 16, and damn if they hadn't
Yeah, they were on their way.
Yeah, they
They
let
could
up
have
on the
if they had
accelerator.
wanted
They
to.
absolutely could have done that. Well, it's going to be exciting. We're so spoiled, but
Yes, we
enjoy
are.
it. And Max, next time I have tickets to the FC Championship, you're coming.
It may never happen again.
It
Yeah.
may never happen again until next year.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go to the Boston Celtics. And first of all, I've been pounding this week after week that it doesn't change. The standings don't change much
No.
come after Christmas. And guys,
Especially
each
when you don't
week,
play well.
they remain in the 5th spot. Now there are a couple games actually out of the 4th spot. That's what a 3-game losing streak will do against pathetic teams in Orlando.
Yeah, they got within one.
Oh, it's
Miami,
crazy. So last week we were saying this,
the
and then they
Nets.
went out and played the best game of the year. They beat the pants off of the Indiana Pacers at home, and they had a 4-game winning
Yep.
streak.
We're back.
And we thought they had turned the corner. Everyone
Yeah.
on this panel would have said, all right, we're back. They figured it out.
Yeah.
And then they go out and lose 3 games in ugly fashion with
Bad
infighting.
teams. Bad teams.
Mediocre teams at a minimum. Infighting, weird coaching, and the wheels are off this thing again.
Kyrie has been, using the media to take shots at Jaylen Brown,
Right.
I think.
Right.
And but I did like Kyrie came out and said, I am not saying anything ever again about another
Well,
team.
we'll see if he sticks to it. He should
better
stick
Ah,
to
look
it.
at the
to it.
Kyrie picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't get that.
But I'll
off.
tell you,
Seriously,
the
come on.
Celtics coach has to get things
you
under
doing?
control.
I totally agree.
Oh, and I think Russ was saying earlier, Danny Ainge has to share in the blame here. He's the one who created the team. He's put this problem in Brad Stevens' lap and in Kyrie's lap and in Horford's lap. He's the one who has the ability to change this chemistry.
Let me ask you guys a question. If it wasn't for this AD pursuit that everyone expects them, do you think that we would have the team right now that Ainge would have sat on all these assets if it wasn't for the prospect of AD?
Getting-
Meaning,
How many guys can
would he
play,
have-
though? How many guys can be on the court?
Well, that's my
at once?
point. Is that my guess is
Are
that
we
one of the
keeping him for
reasons
that?
are have we artificially held on to guys who we might have dealt or picks who we might have dealt
Yeah.
in pursuit of another better 3-for-1, 4-for-2
But Russ,
deal.
going into the season, it looked like the complete package. It looked like we had youth, we have veterans, we have everything in
Yep.
between.
They're not meshing.
They're not meshing because I think of all that attention those Brown and Tatum got in the playoffs last year. It was great when it was happening, but it's kind of coming back to bite them a little bit right
Absolutely.
now.
That's a
Because
great
these
point.
guys want their time.
But also-
they want the spotlight.
I
Yeah,
think that's
nobody
right.
ever thought that Marcus Morris would be this good this year. He's thrown a monkey wrench into the team. All of a sudden, you have to. The minutes that you never thought it should be giving Marcus Morris additionally are going to him instead of Jaylen Brown's of the world, and they're not happy about
And
it.
he deserves them.
He absolutely
I
is the
wish they
second
could
best
have-
player on the team.
Some veteran go into that locker room and get them all onto the same page
Yeah.
about team concept and winning, not about the stats. You can almost see Kyrie.
No, but Timmy,
dishing
that has
about-
to be the coach at this point.
Yeah.
It has
Yeah,
to
we've
be
had
somebody.
I think
don't
the
care.
veterans have tried. Kyrie has tried.
Yeah.
Marcus Morris has tried.
Hang on,
Al
though.
Horford's tried.
Hang on. Kyrie's only 26. Kyrie's not, and Al Horford is the veteran. Is the
Yeah.
only
Sure, yeah.
thing close
senior
to a
citizen.
grizzled veteran that we have, and he's just not that type of player.
We just don't have a Kevin Garnett.
We don't.
That, like,
That's
statue
exactly
that's
right.
in the room.
You're exactly
you know
right.
what
The
I
big
mean?
cat that
They'll be
everyone's
happy,
afraid of.
You know, hey, listen.
But
you
we've
know.
had Al Horford said this week we play hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's obvious to all of us.
So, but they're communicating through the media. Obviously, they're having multiple player
Yeah.
meetings.
And I
So
gotta
if
give Stevens,
they can't do it, then it becomes Brad's job to
right.
to
And I'll
take
tell you,
over.
Stevens has to start calling some timeouts before these other teams get on these
Well, the other
16-point
night-
runs.
great point.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
10 what,
obvious
15
you go to these
seconds in, you
games.
call
If we
the
miss
timeout?
10 shots in a row, they hit 10 in a row, and he's sitting back there doing nothing. His timeouts need to come in a more
I
timely
agree with
fashion.
that.
Well, the other night he called a timeout on the first play. Remember Rozier just threw the ball away for an easy layup?
Rozier.
If Tom Thibodeau can get fired after winning a game against the Lakers, we had talked. I'm not saying that Brad Stevens is fired. I'm not even saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that we thought when Brad earlier in the season that he had underachieved, the team had underachieved, that any other coach might be on the
Feeling
hot seat.
This
some
is
heat.
uncharted
And now after
territory.
you're at another 3-game losing streak against 3 pathetic teams that you need to beat to get to wherever you want to go, right? All of a sudden, somebody needed it to go after Monday's loss.
What do you mean? Someone needed to go
Someone needed to either be traded
or benched? I mean,
cut,
what you may see
or
is
Take a night off, sit in the
or
stands.
in
Yeah.
normal circumstances, a coach could have
Well,
been
I think
fired.
Ainge doesn't want to hurt their trade value. He might still
Yeah,
want
which
to be
is
able
another-
to pull a deal
You know,
off.
Stevens, this is uncharted territory for him. He's always been the underdog. He's never in his life been in this position where he is expected to put a winning team on there. It's always been us against the world. Well, buddy, you got the talent now.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Yep.
And this is a big game tonight against the Raptors. You lose
Yeah, if
against
they
the Raptors.
if they fold and not compete tonight, it's going to be a really, really bad sign for
Right.
this team. You're home.
I would, if they get smoked tonight, you could maybe see some changes.
But it doesn't matter. But Kawhi Leonard is worth the price of admission.
Oh, for sure.
Oh no, they're a good team, but you're at home and you need to beat
This
this.
is a
This
game
team's
you gotta
supposed to win. It's not like we're an underdog anymore.
No.
We're supposed to compete.
That's
We're
actually-
supposed
that's
to
absolutely
win now.
right.
Yeah.
Well, everyone had him for 60 wins. Now
Yeah.
they're not going to
We
get
all
40.
get 50.
I know.
All right, so that's we're gonna go, boys. So that's our show for tonight. We could have done another half an hour, and sometimes we do. All right,
bitching about the Celtics, yeah.
right. All right, I want to thank the boys. I want to thank everyone behind the scenes, of course, Handsome Todd and William the intern. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for the first of our 2 Super Bowl previews.
2 of them.
Hopefully, my name is Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. I'm Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. The elephants are in town.
Here comes the circus.